Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are safe and good. So, in our last class, we were discussing about the climate of India, about the types of monsoons and different types of seasons in Telugu, in traditional calendar as well as in Western calendar. Generally, traditional calendar we call it as Telugu calendar. According to traditional calendar, we have 6 months, whereas according to sorry according to traditional calendar we have 6 seasons, whereas according to Western calendar we have 3 seasons. So that we have discussed in our last class. So today, if you see in your textbook, we discuss about global warming and climate change. So you all know what is global warming and how it is affecting the climate. So as Earth started to take its shape from a fireball to a planet, many gases were released. These gases did not escape into outer space because of the Earth's gravitational pull, and it still holds them back. The result, a thin layer of gases surrounds the earth and provides us several important benefits. For example, the oxygen that we breathe, the ozone that protects us from harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun, the nitrogen that our plants use to make proteins that we need. This layer of gases is the medium through which fresh water is circulated, and it also keeps us warm. So, here you all know in your ninth class also we have read that while the formation of planet Earth, it has there were different assumptions about the shape of the Earth. In your ninth class, we have read about it clearly. So here, what they are telling is, as Earth started to take its shape from a fireball to a planet. So even we have studied that how Earth was. It was divided into two continents itself. Like that, we have read. So here they are telling that when the earth was started to take its shape from a fireball to a planet, so many gases were released that time. So these gases did not escape to outer space. Why? We all know that earth has gravitational pull. So because of that gravitational pull, these gases were unable to escape into outer space. So as a result, these gases are formed like a thin layer in our environment. You can call it as in our surroundings, which provides us several important benefits. So, for example, here they have given oxygen that we breathe. Oxygen is also a gas, it is used for breathing. And the ozone that protects us from harmful ultraviolet rays. So, you all know that ozone layer protects us from harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun. So and also because of the pollution, because of this global warming, we have read that ozone layer is depleting, and it is these ultraviolet rays are passing towards the earth. So this we have seen, the nitrogen that our plants use to make proteins that we need. So even nitrogen is also a gas. Nitrogen is used by plants to make proteins. This layer of gases is the medium through which fresh water is circulated, and also keeps us warm. Keeping us warm is one of the most important things that the atmosphere does for us. It is like a light but effective blanket enveloping Earth. You will recall from ninth class that atmosphere traps a lot of solar energy that reaches the earth by preventing it from totally escaping back into space. This is called greenhouse effect. This is important and vital for life to survive on this planet. If the earth did not have this atmosphere, it would be very cold indeed. So what they are telling here is keeping us warm is one of the most important things that the atmosphere does for us. So whatever these temperatures we feel, it is because of the atmosphere. So it is like a light. Atmosphere is like a light but effective. So the blanket enveloping the earth means ozone layer acts like a blanket. It envelopes means it covers the whole earth. This ozone layer, it covers the whole earth from these harmful ultraviolet rays. And even you can recall from the ninth class that atmosphere traps a lot of solar energy. Solar energy means energy from the sun that reaches the earth by preventing it from totally escaping back into space. This is what called as greenhouse effect. So this is important and vital for life to survive on this planet. And the earth did not have this atmosphere, it would be, suppose if this earth doesn't have this atmosphere, then it would be very cold. Means now we can feel the different variations of temperatures. Suppose if we don't have the atmosphere on the earth, then everything would be very cold. However, since the 19th century, the planet has been warming up very rapidly. There is an increasing concern about this. Why this concern? After all, Earth has been through many cycles of warming and cooling. So, what is so special about it now? So, from since 19th century, what is happening? Planet means our earth has been warming up very rapidly, means very fastly. There is an increasing concern. Why we have to worry about it? Why if suppose if the earth is heating up very fastly, is there any need for us to worry? Yes. Why? Because see, earth has been through many cycles. You may be thinking earth may be facing many cycles, warming and cooling. That is quite common. Yes, but this time we have to worry. Why? Because the changes are happening very rapidly, very fastly. So see here, earlier, cycles of cooling and warming happened over very long periods of time. This allowed most of the life on Earth the time to adapt to the changes. The problem now is that the heating is much more rapid and could lead to catastrophic changes. Much of the warming that has been occurring since the industrial revolution is because of human activities. Hence, the current global warming trend is called AGW, anthropogenic global warming. Anthropogenic means caused by humans. So, I asked you before also, is there any why we have to worry if the earth gets heated up? Why we have to worry means in before earth used to face this cycle of cooling and warming, but it used to take very long periods of time for this change, and it also allowed the people to get adapted to those changes. But now it is heating very rapidly and it could lead to catastrophic changes. Means see here, much of the warming that has been occurring since the industrial revolution is because of human activities. So now why it is a rapidly changing heating means it is because of the human activities. So the current global warming trend is called now the present global warming, which we call it as AGW. AGW means anthropogenic global warming. In this, anthropogenic means caused by humans, means we are human beings only causing the global warming. So, more recently, scientists are discovering large volumes of methane under the frozen tundras of the far northern latitudes, mainly in the vast expanses of northern Russia. As global temperature increases, the ice in the tundra melts more. The methane that is trapped under the ice escapes into the atmosphere, increasing the global temperatures. In turn, this causes even more ice to melt, releasing even realizing even more releasing even more methane and so on. Methane is said to be even more powerful than carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. So, see here, more recently, scientists are discovering what they have discovered, large volumes of methane under the frozen tundras of far northern latitudes, means near the poles. And they have observed the large volumes of methane which is under the frozen tundras, means which are under the frozen ice. So as this global temperature increases, the ice in the tundra region melts. So when they melt, the methane that is trapped under the ice also, it will escape into atmosphere, and it will still increase the temperature of the atmosphere. The means the global temperature will increase. So by that increase, again still more the ice will melt, so releasing even more methane and so on. So methane is said to be even more powerful than carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. So when this methane is released into the atmosphere, it increases the temperature, and because of that temperature, again this ice will melt very fastly, and it is one of the green methane is also one of the greenhouse gas along with carbon dioxide. So AGW and climate change. AGW means I have already told you what it is, anthropogenic global warming. AGW is causing many changes in the distribution of heat in the Earth system. Remember how atmospheric and oceanic circulations keep redistributing the heat in the world. AGW disturbs this and the redistribution system. The disturbance itself is not so much of a problem, it is the rapidity with which it is happening. So, AGW means anthropogenic global warming. Anthropogenic means caused by human. So, this AGW is causing many changes in the distribution of heat in the earth system. So, it is not distributing the heat equally. It is distributing unequally. It have many changes in the distribution of heat. So remember how atmospheric and oceanic circulations keep redistributing the heat in the world. This AGW also disturbs this and the redistribution system also. So the disturbance itself is not so much of a problem, but it is the disturbance is happening very rapidly. So that is what the problem here. When the redistribution system is disturbed, weather and climate patterns change. Long term changes, climatic changes happen from accumulations of short term changes. So generally nowadays we can see there are not even a single season is in the according to the pattern. Sometimes in even now also, if you see, it is a winter season, but in this winter also we are experiencing rainfall here and there. So it is completely it is completely disturbed. Why it is disturbed? It is disturbed by AGW. So here the redistribution system is disturbed and the weather and climate patterns change. That is what the result. Now we are facing rainfall in some areas of our country. That is because of the change in weather and climate patterns. And these long term changes happen from accumulation of short term changes. So an international effort to form an agreement whereby all countries try to reduce their emission of greenhouse gases has so far not been achieved. An international organization called Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change IPCC was formed to address this issue. It has held many conferences to work out a treaty among the nations of the world to reduce AGW and try to slow down the process of climate change. None of these have been successful. The IPCC 2015 Paris Summit came to an agreement to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in order to limit the rise in global average temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrialization level. On this agreement, total 195 countries signed. So what happened here? An international effort to form an agreement whereby all countries, they have come to an agreement that all countries will try to reduce their emission of greenhouse gases. Uh, so as for now, as for not been achieved. So an international organization which is called as Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. What is the international organization name? Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It is also called as IPCC. It was formed to address this issue. Actually, this Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change was formed to, it is mainly formed to address this issue. What is this? Global warming. So it has held many conferences to work out a treaty among the nations of the world to reduce AGW and try to slow down the process of climate change, but none of these conferences was successful. So finally, in the year 2015, IPCC means Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It is conducted in Paris Summit. In Paris, the IPCC 2015 Paris Summit, it came to an agreement to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in order to limit the rise in global average temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrialization level. So on this agreement, total 195 countries has signed that they will try to control these greenhouse gases. They will reduce these use of emission of greenhouse gases. So I hope you have understood till here. The remaining part will be continuing in the next session. Thank you. Have a good day.